And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the ShadowNet Daily Casts. I'm in the wrong frame of mind. It's like I was going to record a ShadowNet episode at some point this week. It's a Daily Cast with Ed and friends. I'm Ed. Let's say hello. Hello. Oh, sneak preview. Almost got on screen. Not quite. Something to look forward to later, perhaps. Hope everyone's well. Good evening, Initeris. Scoops, yes. Fresh scoops, meh, fairly. Aki, evening. Thanks for joining. Ginevra, good morning. Gershi, howdy. Hey. Hope everyone's well. I hope you didn't miss me yesterday. I shaved, as you can see. I took a day and a half to shave. First time in 2 months. Feeling fresh and ready to go. I watched a rather fascinating documentary about art heists and con artists and such, and it was rather good. It's on Netflix. SCD, good evening. I can't remember what it was called, but if you look on Netflix, it's one of the more popular. Yeah, shave _ Ed. Well done, very nice. I'm just going to type dreams. My computer's running a little bit slowly because it's been playing Football Manager for the last 6 hours, so it's a bit hot and sad. The database of 70,000 people. I'm currently playing as Hamilton Academical from Scotland. Good evening. Also from Scotland.
Hi, Ed.
I'd like to call that a segment.
Yeah, Hamilton's
it was clunky, to say the least.
Hamilton's a long way away from me.
Yes. It's towards the south, isn't it? I've done my Hamilton academical research. It's 20 miles south of Glasgow. You're the other end.
Pride of Lanarkshire.
Yeah. But you're the other way, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, north of the Central Belt, which is away from all the most of the football and the Netrunner events as well.
Yes. So yes, in case you didn't guess, Limes, good evening. Thanks for joining. Looking forward to your scoop this week. Yes, in case you didn't guess, I'm joined by Dis, creative director, acting of Nisei. Is that right? So, just filling in for the
that's right. It's been acting for quite a while because recruitment hasn't been that efficient. But yes. In charge of all the words and art and stuff.
So,
to use for technical terms.
You've been involved with Nisei for quite a while, haven't you? I believe in, and then sort of just taken the role over as people moved on and such. At what point? Did you sort of start working on Gateway and Update then?
So I they're quite early on. Like I think it's one of the first people recruited to the creative team by Holly. So I just did lots of work on Downfall and Uprising. Did lots of the card names, most of the flavor text, and some terrible art pieces. And then I did a bunch of setting briefings and sort of like went away for a while and then came back and it's like, oh, we need stuff for Gateway. And I was like, well, here's a master plan I have prepared. And we ended up implementing that because that was what we had.
Yeah. So the sort of talk to me about like the journey of Gateway. I mean, obviously, I'll tell you what. Let me put up a scene. Might be interesting to people. Orbital, thanks for joining. Looking forward to your scoop tomorrow, I believe, with the Slums cast. So Ian sent this across to me about 10 minutes ago. So he thought it'd be interesting for everyone to have a look at. This, could you just talk us through how you implemented such a complex piece of work on screen? Now you've got a back of an envelope with a sweet wrapper on it.
Okay. Well, see, the sweet wrapper is strategically covering up something that is redacted.
Right.
And it's obviously a Tunnocks caramel slice wrapper. You've always got to have Scottish branded stuff. Yeah. So if we cast our minds back to 2019, an ancient lost year, and Downfall had come out, and Uprising was pretty set, and so we were thinking about what we were going to do next. Me, along with Pat Burke, who's then art director, and this sort of stuff, we came up with a whole concept for the set, which was Bashes, which we be coming at some point in the future. And then the board came to us, actually, throw all that out. We're doing an introduction set.
Okay.
And then we were like thinking what could be the theming of a introduction set. And I think we came up with the runners first. The catalyst and we used the idea we had for loop and so on. And we were like thinking of this and we were like tying them to FFG environments, thinking, loops are wilder and so it's associated with the Docklands and Highlands. So we're going through a bunch of ideas about where it could be set, and we're like, all the runners on the moon. Why don't we set on Highland? Because FFG can't exert copyright over the name Highland because it's not theirs. Cool. And then and that's, as you can see, we considered some other options, but in the end, Moon was the superior one.
Yeah. Yeah, Moon 3 times out of 5 appears to be the most popular there, and certainly it's worked so far. Essentially, it's quite a broad landscape, isn't it? The Moon, you can put whatever you want on the Moon.
Yeah, to clarify, this is me writing stuff down while involved in a phone call, rather than the ravings of the deranged madman. So I'm like, so they're being written and crossed out as the conversation goes through.
Yeah. Yeah, it says for those of you that can't turn your heads to the left, it says underneath Gateway, avoid IP, small, ease to look sci-fi, known to establish the new players. There was a chance that Gateway was going to be set in Boswash as well. Algebraic, good evening. Bashes is set in France. Yeah, it's cool. French. France confirmed as the location for Bashes.
Yeah, exactly. Massive spoilers.
Yeah, huge spoilers tonight on the stream. I promise spoilers not delivered already. Cool. So we're mainly going to be speaking this evening. So I don't know if I've said before, but I'm going to be working slightly offset over this week, just to give the content creators a little bit of time to get their stuff out there, give people a chance to listen to their podcasts and watch their VODs and everything else. So that said, C2C and Murphy last night on Sansan Stream, at the end of it, said they post it everywhere, use it as you want, which was very handy because it means we can talk about Wayland this evening in particular. So Wayland on the Moon, what are they up to, Ian?
Wayland is kind of it's very much a construction thing, as in they built the starport and they built all these shipyards, and then they kind of went elsewhere whilst I think it's HB, which is like the dominant corp in the actual cities. So like using that spaceship and ideas, we actually like chose what Wayland was doing based on like what the other corps weren't, as you had the sci-fi, the fancy technology you see on the HB ID, and then you have the guard and things. So it was like, Wayland, we can just put some heavy industrial, and what's more heavy industrial than trains?
Yep, sure.
And it's just did trains, because trains is a very easy, straightforward visual motif.
And very Wayland as well. It's kind of That
Yeah.
like
The Wayland trains do not stop. They will run you over.
they do not stop.
Yeah. Just keep on going.
How'd you get off?
Well, that's a problem for the future. Wayland, just go fast.
Just go fast. I like Astro.
Yeah, if you complain about it, you'll face retribution.
Atlas trains. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like a industrialization, like hypermodernism kind of. I'm trying to sound cool and like I understand what I'm talking about, but like 1930s Soviet feel, almost, isn't it?
Oh, you mean the brutalism?
Brutalism? Yeah, that would be.
Yes.
Yes. Brutalism feel to Wayland with the big buildings and then
architecture is the language of power.
Is that a famous phrase? Can I say that and sound intelligent?
I don't know. We'll see if it works for me first, then you can steal it.
Okay.
But Wayland's buildings is a statement. They're big, yes, and they're brash, and they're here to stay.
Grim in the chat saying, I thought Wayland was more about buses and throwing you under them. I mean, they throw you under buses on Earth, on the moon, it's on the trains.
Yeah.
Let's have a talk about these cards, shall we? In what order should we go? Let's talk about Retribution first, since it was the one that was first. So, Retribution, got a one cost operation, Grey Ops. Play any of the runners tagged, trash one installed program or piece of hardware. It's only one influence. Flavor text, did you really think you'd get away with it?
Yeah, so this I will press that thanks to living very far away from people. I've not actually gotten to play with any of the gateway cards myself. I've just stared at them longingly, so I don't know how this actually comes in gameplay. So I'm very looking forward to actually getting to play with this.
Yeah, are you a Wayland fan in general?
I'm probably most. I do work in the oil industry, so I feel very. Grendel is a very close to my heart.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, I do. It's like the Canvas, and of course, there's the. Got a shout out to the Scottish Scorp deck, which the UK Slack will continually mock us over.
Yeah, but that's the one I was thinking of exactly. So Retribution is clearly, like in the classic sense of the word, you import your tags from MBN and then you punish in Wayland, and it's very open. Trash an install program or piece of hardware for one credit and one influence. I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of this as a splash, one-offs, two-offs.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like rig shooter has always been a part of Wayland, and for anyone who asks why how these people are smashing stuff, one flat fight, David Lee. We haven't seen the other half of this two-part art yet. Okay. During the course of development, this card smashed quite a lot of things. So we commissioned the art on some very generic smashing. Nice. But they're having a grand old time, these lads.
The Wayland hired forces or otherwise, they always do look like they're kind of enjoying themselves as everything breaks around them. You do. If you love your work, you never work a day in your life. No, exactly.
But yeah, this is interesting because it means like floating one tag is going to be quite bad if you're, I guess, not if you're anarch, but if you're criminal, you're gonna not want to have your stuff be smashed.
No, absolutely.
Especially
on Shaper, I think they'd struggle as well.
Shaper would worry about losing hardware, I think.
Yeah, exactly. particularly with DMDZ. I've got to try and remember what the current name is. DMDZ.
Yeah. Oh, do you want a fun story about that for when you do it?
I would love to. Let's get down there.
Okay.
But yeah, no. I think before we get there, just so on the
it is
tags,
today.
Yeah, it's today. We'll get there, Ian. We'll get there. Have we covered semicolon gate yet? We haven't covered semicolon gate. I've actually been avoiding most of the chat today for a variety of reasons, mainly because I had a lawn to take care of. I will talk about this tag though. R plus, Reality Plus. A lot of people are saying there's not a lot to do with tags, and well, retribution is one thing that you can do with it. So, and at one influence, I think you see it splashed.
Yeah, you can have a nice little MBN rush deck, and if they try and get in, you can tag them and take away the program, and then do some more scoring with your Sansan.
Yeah, you'd certainly be very sad losing in Golo, especially if you're a rush deck and it's early in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want your legs broken by baseball bats.
No, exactly. Have to retire from kickboxing. Yeah. So DZMZ, I'm hearing a story.
Yes. So this is. So, are you aware of LLDS processor?
Yes, as a name. I couldn't tell you what it does.
As a name. So you know that's originally from Lucas Litzinger and Damon Stone as the designer's name. So this is the initials for the devs team, but originally we had a much more easier to say arrangement of these initials, but it turned out to be quite a horrible swear word in Chinese. So when it got to translators, it was quite soundly rejected. So had a nice fun day.
MDZZ is a swear word in Chinese.
Yes, it's the because it's representing a phrase, so it's like the quick way of typing out a phrase. So it's it's I don't know what level of family friendliness is for stream.
No, I think we're good.
Yes. I've got. I think it's. No, it's something about motherfucking or something.
Oh right, blimey.
Yeah. So that's why it was not. It was decided to not grace the card. Yeah.
Absolute flex for Tao. It's some motherfucking optimizer, man. You know.
Yeah.
What kind of optimizer is
it? It's interesting. The people are struggling to say thing when I think in creative we just called it optimizer because it's.
I think I've just dropped you for a second there, Ian.
All right, sorry. What did?
I think you're back now.
What? Okay, great. What bit dropped out?
You said we'd known it in the design team as optimizer.
Yes. Yeah. No, I didn't say anything after that.
Oh right. Oh, you didn't drop. Yeah. No. I always knew it as MD2Z optimizer. Not that we could ever remember that it was MD2Z. I can't remember the name because it was really bad until it was really good. But there we go. A lot of people have been asking today, why isn't this a chip? Have you got any idea?
Because it's because it's not really a chip in the art.
That's reasonable.
As it's it's just a I think that's as far as I know, that's the
hardware provides MU, but there are examples of hardware that provide MU that aren't chips. So
exactly.
Yeah, so it's 2 cost, 1 MU. The first program you install each turn costs 1 less to install. It is 2 inf. It is absolutely wild as far as I'm concerned. I think this is arguably the biggest boost that Shaper have got so far in Gateway.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the Artist for sure.
I think the art's fabulous. But this is a part of a two-parter as well, isn't it? It's someone said this
yes.
to me, David Lee.
Yeah, I don't think the other. Yeah, I don't think the other one is out yet either.
No. It's certainly got a feel of it. It's got a little bit of a Star Wars thing going on here as well, isn't there? With "Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope." I believe on an angle, yeah. Fight Keith, good evening. Chris, good evening as well. And Bloom, good evening. I want a Waldo subtype. It'd be a Wally subtype. Synchro G. Be cool to have some fake competing HW manufacturers back from original Netrunner as an additional flavour potential labels for such cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's I mean the whole Waldo stuff from Tau is from I'm not sure, but the word Waldo is actually from a Robert Heinlein story.
Okay.
Which Tau is kind of based on. So it's all moon stuff all the time.
Oh wow! It's like these concepts are well thought through and researched, and yeah.
I mean, no, I've got an alternative take, which is someone, naming no names, typed moon into Wikipedia.
Let's go with the first. I like the former. RC, good evening, Ren. Yeah, I think this card's great. I think everyone kind of agrees that this is really strong.
It's good. It's wonderful art. I'm going to enjoy looking at it and playing it. Having free on the board at the same time.
Speaking of David Lee, is it Lee or Lay?
I have not actually heard it, only seen email, so I don't know how they pronounce it. I'm assuming, let's say Lee. Why?
We'll go
stuff
Lee
I would
until otherwise told.
Yeah.
That's no mean. Yes, it is. Third take. Nisei are giant nerds and huge communists.
That is true. I'm a tremendous communist.
Yes. No comment from my end. So we'll move to Clearing House. Clearing House, zero cost asset, hostile, and damn it is hostile. You can advance this asset. When your turn begins, you may trash this asset to do 1 meat damage for each hosted advancement counter. It's a 3 influence, 3 to trash. And it's going to kill quite a lot of people, I imagine.
It's Jameson too strong.
Yeah. It's... Yeah, I think the 5 Jameson fans around the world are licking their lips at this.
I love Jameson. I mean, I don't like playing it because I tend to lose, but making Jameson decks is one of the funnest thing in that run.
Didn't you find it quite? And I haven't really, other than the occasional flurry into it for half an hour and then deciding it's a bad idea. But have you not always found it's quite limited what you can do with Jameson that's actually going to be sensible?
I actually don't. I don't know. I'd say it's the option. There are so many things you can do in Jameson, which is the excitement of the idea. Problem is they're all incredibly fragile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And you can't afford any tricks because you don't have any money.
That's true. Maybe they're better in Built to Last. Certainly,
maybe.
Certainly, this is going to be a ton of fun in Built to Last. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I'm not sure it'd be so, because Built to Last seems to want to go quite fast, and this is sort of like this is more this is like a Jinteki card or a Builder of Nations card. Like it's building to a slow kill you.
Yeah, I suppose this is False Flag 2.0 that doesn't score agendas, does it? But you're playing it maybe in the same sort of deck. That said, good evening, Sanjay. Good evening, Byron Weir as well. You don't play Jameson to be sensible. No, maybe I'm a little bit too sensible. Maybe I'm feeling too sensible this evening.
Yeah.
Should have stayed off the low alcohol beers. I don't know. I think Built to Last is going to be more than just a Rush deck. Although last week I was saying this is going to be the best Rush ID. I think it can go sideways, and I think this might be a cool way to put it sideways behind something a bit spiky.
Maybe. I mean, I agree with you. You could do something quite interesting in Built to Last, but I think Built to Last doesn't want to put all the agenda tokens in one place, which Clearinghouse is suggesting quite firmly that it wants all the agenda tokens for itself. Sorry, advancement tokens.
You could Red Planet Couriers, though, couldn't you?
And then leave it on the board, implying it's a trap.
Yeah.
And I do love the. Have you zoomed in on the art to see what's being loaded into the?
Oh no.
Let's
have a look. Do I have zoom more? What is this? What is this? Is it some kind of mech gun turret? Or...
Oh yeah, I think it's just the. Yeah, because certainly in the depictions in this, there are quite a few like mechs. You see them in like the intervention art, but they're not really relevant to the cyber. But it's more what's being put into what's on the end of that robot arm. What is being cleared by the clearinghouse?
No! Is that Catty Jones's sports hopper thingy?
Oh, what? Whoa, maybe. No, I'm not sure. Oh no, I was more talking about the corpse being taken away, but it's not quite like Katie Jones. I don't think Katie would do something like that. She wouldn't fly for Wayland.
No. So this is from the Zaya story. Am I missing something here? Am I being dense and forgetful? Have I looked at too many cards?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's from the Zaya story. It's just the Wayland after doing. It's because what you do after you've gotten your Wayland murder on, you have to neatly pack away the bodies.
Oh yeah, to the left-hand side, you mean?
Yes,
yeah,
and also
the truck.
And also in the top right, so you can see the figure in the white white casket being loaded in.
Are we on the card? Are we looking at the card or on the full art?
Okay, go to the right.
Yes.
And then go up.
Yeah.
And then the thing being loaded in.
Oh, I'm looking at it from the wrong direction. I see it's going in that way rather than going in this way, up that way.
All right, so we got there, yeah. But it's just
I thought.
No,
so what I thought was going on is they've got this arm here that's scooping up this pod here, which looks remarkably similar to something that you see on Always Have a Backup Plan. And then I was like, oh no, what have they done to Catty? And they're putting her in. This looks like a bit like a skip. Especially with the tarpaulin over the top.
Yeah. And then you've got the little guy with clipboard, the banality of evil as someone is being loaded, as corpses are being loaded.
Yeah, that's certainly my favourite part of it. Yeah, it's as you said, banality of evil, and there's someone at the back probably sitting down, reading the mirror, or something like that. The third gentleman on the left, taking a tea break. As you do.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if Wayland will let people have tea breaks. It'd be quite Amazon warehouse.
Do you think so? Like you are not allowed.
I've got a feeling that would be Wayland's style.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool art, cool card. I think it's my favourite Wayland card. Maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Like people are going to think a lot of Cards the Clearinghouse when someone like advances stuff and grins. It's gonna be great.
I'll tell you, I have already died 30 or 40 times to Clearinghouse in various forms, but with the same name. The only other thing, Where do you stand on clearinghouse as one word versus clearinghouse as two words?
It's the American. We're doing it. It's a valid word in American English to have it as one thing.
Yes, but is it? Am I right in saying it's a noun as one word, the clearinghouse, versus sort of?
Yes.
I suppose if it was an operation, you'd be clearinghouse, like tidying up behind yourself.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't call it clearinghouse as a operation.
No. No.
If it was, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that makes a lot more sense now. I think about it. There we go. Problem solved.
I would love to have been said it would have been topical for all the stonks excitement at the beginning of the year, but unfortunately it was named a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Cool. Right, above the law. It's good. I think my favourite flavour texts in general are the short, punchy ones. This is no exception. So above the law is a 3-2 agenda. Always exciting. Security agenda, if that's relevant anymore. I can't remember if it is. When you score
it's
agenda,
still relevant for the archivist.
It's still relevant for the archivist. Archivist has not rotated. Is that right?
No, it's in red stats.
No, really? Put a line.
Mm.
Goodness me. Okay. Shows when I joined. When you score this agenda, you may trash one installed resource. Limit one per deck. We are judge, jury, and executioner. And then what looks like a kind of very quiet boardroom floating above in outer space. But yeah, it looks like a couple of computer desk jockeys. Yeah. It's very calm and tranquil, doesn't it? You know, but they're homing in on something to destroy.
Yes, they are lining up their missile pod.
Yeah,
which you can see in a later card. But yeah, no, I do enjoy because all the flavor text for this group of agendas are all about like these represent what the desires of the corp, like each of the corp factions. So it's like trying to be something quite pithy about what the corps want, what is their higher agenda. And so, for Wayland, is to be above the law.
So is it almost like a what do you call it? Like a what companies have and
mottos, mission statements.
Mission statement, yeah, like a mission statement for each of the.
Well, I don't know if it would be like the mission statement they would have. I think it's possibly more the like the narrator voice mission statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't realise the theme behind Sanjay saying. Didn't realise the theme behind the limit one per decks. Yeah, it's really cool. Wayland's priorities: 1 puns, 2 money, 3 murders, and 4 tall buildings. 5. And disappointing to see here, no one with their feet on the desk. Could potentially have been a perfect opportunity for it. You're gentlemen to the right.
I don't know. I don't think you. I don't think you can see where the legs of the person on the left are.
That's very true, actually.
Yeah.
He could just be sat rather high. The table could come round the corner. He could be sat on the table with his legs on the table as well, just getting a better view.
Also, this is like a moment in time. So, what they're doing is they're setting up the orbital missiles. They're going to fire them, and then the legs will go on the table.
Yeah, probably light a cigar as well. Feet up on the table. Yeah. Good work, everyone. Let's enjoy the view. Very Wayland. It's a strong include in the fact that it's a 3-2. Adding trash and installed resource there's pretty much always going to be a resource out there. You're going to be trashing something when you score it.
Yeah, runners will live in fear whenever Wayland start advancing things, as they should.
As they should. And as Keith said, they can get in the hot tub afterwards. What a wonderful idea. A hot tub on the way back.
I'm not sure a hot tub in zero gravity will work out well, but it'll be...
As Orbital said, this is the kill satellite from another angle. Is that right? Is that as kill satellites kind of in? Oh, sorry, I've zoomed out, but it's just to the top right, isn't it? It's the kill satellite, and they're kind of controlling.
Yeah, I don't think it's different artists. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same, but it's definitely Wayland, I believe, will have many kill satellites.
Yeah, kind of terrifying, really, isn't it?
Well, they are above the law.
Well, they are, and they are judge, jury, and executioner. And speaking of kill satellites, and a law question for you, Ian. So last night we found out via CTZ that Wayland always fire 4 missiles. Am I right in saying?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't believe that's. I believe that each missile is 1 meat damage.
Each missile is 1 meat damage.
As you see, there are 4 missiles here and does 4 meat. And what you can't see what you can't see on the boom art is that there's 6 more missiles.
Right.
Because if you see the boom art, the actual viewpoint is from a GoPro on one of the other 6 missiles.
Makes perfect sense all of a sudden.
Mm.
Yeah, and how Wayland to install a GoPro on a missile, so as they sit back and recline and put their feet up on the desk, they get a perfect view of Wizard's surprised face. So orbital superiority, it's 4-2. When you score this agenda, if the runner's tagged, do 4 meat damage, otherwise give the runner 1 tag. It's obviously neutral, and there's 2 copies in the advanced gateway decks.
I'm not sure if it's going to see standard play. It's going to be very, very interesting for gateway itself. It's going to be a great way is you'll advance stuff and then you'll do a public trail and finish it off and kill them. It's going to be
I think it's going to be terrifying for new players, and I think I think they'll end up playing around it and doing crazy things like making sure they've got enough cards in hand. It might even teach them fundamentals. Imagine cards in a game that teach new players how to play the game better.
And what I love about this is it's making both tags and meat damage be not bound to factions, which I think is great.
And no doubt, if you're playing against some newer players, then they will be sticking this all sorts and everywhere. So you're playing against Plana, and suddenly an orbital superiority pops out. No doubt, that's often what happens. And new players get. I don't know. I did. You pick up pet cards right from early on, and when you're thinking, I wonder what I should slot in here, your pet card suddenly comes to mind, and so.
And of course, you'll have the beautiful dream of you'll slowly advance 3 of them on the board at the same time, and then score them all in the same turn to tag them and deal 8 meat damage.
That'd be hilarious. And no doubt will happen at some point. Sanjay, we're not talking about. I'll ask about the name though. Sanjay's asking about luminal
transubstantiation.
It's transubstantiation. Yes.
Yes.
I learnt about this. When I was looking at doing some art for luminal transubstantiation about 9 months ago. And isn't it something about, because we had 2 thoughts. One was lumens means light, and then there's something about luminal being vascular and in the brain, and then like bodily functions, and transubstantiation is turning it into something else.
So the root word luminal means a light, and its other meanings come from opening, as in it's opening you see through light, but it's because it is because pyroids brains are optical. They're driven by light carved by nanobots within the nano etching matrix. So when human memories are rewritten and taken to this new form, this new substance, they have transubstantiated to light, and that's where the workers are. And it also means that we now have the trans agenda as well, which I believe several people in ESA were quite keen on.
That's really cool. Yeah, I like that.
And also it was a testing thing to see how long a word we can get in the name box.
And is that the longest you've gone for?
I think it's definitely pushing the limits.
For now. Anyway. But it'd be called luminal trans, won't it? So,
and you can see in that one as well. That's the HB sort of like mission statement. They want to remake. They want to remake you in light as a bioroid.
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah, I can't remember what the art turned out for that. But yes, no, it was very interesting. We actually spent an afternoon not knowing, and it was before sort of the design team were consulting with us at all, and we spent an afternoon just thinking about what it might mean with no context. It was a lovely way to spend an afternoon.
Well, as you know, Ed, like I consider like at least 20% of creative job is teaching White Blade new words.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And then the next 20% is getting him to pronounce them correctly as well. It's always good fun. Yeah. Malapersian is a word I don't know.
I don't know what is. Are they talking about? They're talking about a dumb brick spoiler.
Ooh, that's correct.
Malapert.
Yes, because that one changed its name as well. I'm really sorry. So as I said, today I've spent the day in the garden, and I've been saying loop as well. So
who's loop?
Lou, Rene
Lou.
Arsemont.
Yeah.
As Phil says, as he keeps saying, loop.
Loop.
Should we go to Malapersian? My computer's honestly getting slower and slower, and it needs a rest. So I'm trying not to scroll too much. Ed's out of the loop, isn't it? On the pronunciations. Thanks, Sanjay. David 707M. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Tread lightly. I got a little sneak preview of this art a long time ago, and it blew my mind, and it's terrifying. It reminds me of a dream I had when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and it was a recurring dream. I think I watched War of the Worlds a little bit too young, like the sort of the original 50s one. I certainly listened to the cool singy one. Who's the Jeff Wayne? Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds.
Okay.
Is that who I mean? Do I mean Jeff?
I know the singy one, but I do not know who.
I think it's called Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. And certainly gave me nightmares. And the nightmares were visually 95% the same as this, of sort of me hiding behind things while these big monsters, robots, with a spotlights looking for me. And then seeing this with no sort of pretext or no warning, seeing it triggered quite a lot of things for me. Mostly uncomfortability. Very powerful art.
It is. I mean, surveyors are quite scary. Like the one of the interesting things is like you can see a lot of the sort of virtual landscape, virtual netscapes in the cards can be like really changed by feeling by having a scaling human figure about them, as if you didn't have that tiny wee man at the bottom of a noetic void. I think the piece might be quite different in feeling, and like the original surveyor, like who knows? That tripod could have been very small, but here we see they are in fact large and terrifying.
Yeah, huge, terrifying, nightmarish. I still think this is like one of the most powerful pieces of art in the whole set, certainly of what I've seen. and still quite a powerful card as well. And I've enjoyed the day. This was probably one of the cards I spent the most time testing. I spent the majority of my time testing Crim, so blame me for everything, and particularly making Tread Lightly work. I like it a lot, and I haven't played with it for a while, and I'm excited to use it again. I think with Stimhack out of the mix. Sorry, let me just read it for those that are sort of listening along. So Tread Lightly is a 1 credit run any server. During that run, the res cost of each piece of ice is increased by 3, and it's
3 credits.
Increased by 3 for each piece of ice. And the flavour text on this: a mirror fibre mod or high-end mantle can be helpful, but nothing beats a good dose of keeping your damn head down. Go for Orion. Go for Orion, a new character potentially in the future, or
no? So this is so what we do is the top tier of patrons basically get to write a flavor text and put a character into the cards we produce. Since Gateway has been building up for quite some time, we had quite a lot of those rewards built up. So there's 9 in the set. But yeah, so this is from. Actually, I probably shouldn't say the name because that's definitely shouldn't that. But they just said we want to talk about this character, and I want them to say this because I basically asked them like, what kind of cards do you like, and they're like, oh, criminal run events, and I so sent them the details, and they came with this, and it's basically reproduced. We generally have to edit down what they get there. People tend to write a bit more when it's not quite necessary for flavor text. And there's a lot of words there.
I suppose the worry is that it's your only chance to write flavor text. You don't want to limit it to 2 words. And, but it's a lovely flavor text actually, and
no, they did a very good job.
And certainly that big surveyor remote. You're getting through it much more comfortably with Tread Lightly, which I think Ken will enjoy. I think Zaya will enjoy running R&D once they start blockading R&D with this. I think you play it as a 1 of or a 2 of, just for that 1 impact run. Maybe a Ginger remote, or when the second Ginger goes down on R&D once the Ginger remote's built, before they've had a chance to res.
It's gonna be good stuff. And yet another run event for Steve Drucker.
Of course, and potentially the value in it, is that. What was I going with this? Argus Rush, right? The problem with Argus Rush is financial issues. If you realise that you need to start rushing behind ice, and you'll lose tempo if you res that ice, so you have to kind of pretend that ice is not going to be able to get past and is going to hurt you in doing so. Having a Tread Lightly, you kind of, as the runner, you're willing to take that chance if it puts them down to 0 credits or 1 credit. They can't score out the agenda they're rushing behind anymore, and have to take a turn off to pick back up. So it's more versatile than just getting into a big remote.
And it's going to be good with the turning wheel as well. Just
very, very good with turning wheel.
Flush out
with en passant as well. Sneak door, kind of pressure on ice, flipping and flipping back and flipping and flipping back. And we did see another card today, which we'll talk about a bit later in the week, on the Metropole Grids. Check out Metropole Grids video today that was launched this morning in the UK, and tomorrow night's stream timings. It's probably like 2 a.m. for us, so now at the moment it's 10 p.m. EST. But check that out tomorrow, and be playing through the Crim cards. I imagine they might be using Tread Lightly as well for that, but who knows. And last card for this evening, we'll be looking at...
This was my absolute favourite way, a most thematically appropriate way of spoiling a card, the way Adumbrick made people play them on JNet to see it. So it's like if you wanted to see what this card in the server was, you had to run against them.
It was so cool, wasn't it? It was super cool. I think I've just got too many windows open, and that's why my computer's trying to explode on me. Oh, Borealis testing decks. Shall I? Zio plays.
Yeah, that's a word you should probably say.
And deck building, close that, and scoops, and we go on to, here we go. Done bricks list. No, still not opening.
Thanks for spoiling the Ashes. No, the Bashes set name.
Did I? If I carry on talking,
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. June's done the same thing.
Apologies. Yeah, no, I was just reading out the titles. Yeah, it's still a secret. Confirm or deny. Malapad Datable. Let's talk about that. What is a Malapad Data Vault?
So you might be aware that originally this the slot for this card in the gateway did something quite different.
Yes.
And so we got a fantastic art from Shipment Headcabs for that original card. Yeah. And then we're in the interesting thing of, because one of the problems with Nisei is that we're quite lean. There's not so much a slush file of art such FFG has. FFG has, like, I'm sure they've got a whole drawer full of blue hardware they can just bring out for any consoles, criminal cards they want. So we had to think of something which would fit in for this really quite interesting card. But we've got to have a name which fits with some data stuff with black horizon behind it. Yeah. And so we're just like, we'll find a place on the moon which sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so
Malapat's a real place on the moon then?
So Malpa is the crater at the south pole of the moon, which is like dead on thing. So that the interior of it never sees the sun because the crater walls provide a shadow. It's where they think there's ice water in the base.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and now there's not just ice water, but there's also there's also non-agenda cards.
Yeah. Yes, well, there's all kinds of stuff, whatever you want.
Yeah. So Malapad Data Vault is a one-cost upgrade. It is unique. When you score an agenda from this server, you may search R&D for one non-agenda card and reveal it. Shuffle afterwards. Add that card to HQ. I mean, this is very good, right?
Oh yeah, you score something and then you fetch your Neurospike and then you kill them.
Yeah. Or you go fast. Or so, in Titan, for example, you win the game. Because I presume I've heard you could just combo out from this.
Yeah, I imagine you could with because you can have the fun thing about this is you can go in the same server as Sansan and other things, so you can just zoom through your deck if you have enough money. Which Wayland notoriously has lots of money and has trouble winning, and this will get you the things you need to win.
Yeah, and potentially we could see this. Do you think Titan? It's got all the tools of Titan there, apart from Titan itself. The only thing you're not doing is putting an advanced agenda counter on scored agendas. So essentially atlases. So you have to score atlases as 4 2s rather than 3 2s. But the shell's still there.
I'd be more interested in putting it in precision design and getting 2 cards when you score something.
Yeah. Imagine if you're scoring out your Vitruviuses as well, and you're just recurring and recurring and recurring. Maybe there is some kind of infinite combo loop. I know my good friend JPST 1027 or whatever his name is. Shout out to Iterant Protesters. Has a turn 2 combo deck at the moment that wins on turn 2 with
that's quite impressive.
It's quite cool. Obviously, it's rotating next week, but turn 2 combo. It's quite impressive, and it goes through the whole deck as well. It doesn't just score out 7 points; it scores out the full set.
That's just showing off.
It is a little bit, isn't it? It's rather cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, other than combo decks, where you put in this, but
I mean, it is getting a card you want is quite good. Like, I mean, it's just there's things like there are some very powerful economy cards in the game, because it's sort of in that team sponsorship space where it is quite annoying for the runner to trash it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use it to fetch up a violet level clearance or some other ridiculous economy card, or if you have
no, please.
Yeah, or if you have something like Aurora Salvatore, you can fetch something up and then immediately install it,
mm-hmm.
which is even more going fast.
Yeah,
it's very well.
I wonder if we start going to see like clown car servers with this and Christian groups and maybe or something.
I'm not sure. Would you put it in the same server as the Christian Grid?
I'm not sure. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Certainly CVS in here.
I mean, the obviously the thing you do is you with your first score you set you get your second Malapert data vault. So if they trash the first one, you can get another. You use another one. That's good. These it is like all of the unique upgrades which they've got in Gateway for each of the corps is really I think they're all really cool. And,
is that so? Each corp has got a unique upgrade then.
We've seen the HB one.
Yeah,
as well.
We've seen the Wayland one. Have we seen the Jinteki one? I'm certainly looking forward to.
Yes, we have. One. Yeah, the Jinteki one is Anoetic Void.
Of course it is. Yes. And the MBM one I think is a ton of fun as well. So yeah, it's a nice cycle of cards. It's a cycle of cards.
Well, it's all like there's a lot of things for the corps in Gateway which are really like giving like the foundational philosophies of the corps for new players. And it's just really. I do like all the corps.
Yeah. You do like all the corps.
Yeah, well, no, just like in terms of how they tell you the story of what this corps is about in a like a very concise but like evocative manner, like just in terms of gameplay, like that.
The gameplay adds to the lore. I like one particular design aspect I've enjoyed is that the cards teach you how to play. They teach you how to be a better player by doing. If you do the things that it says on the cards, invariably you'll do better at the game than not doing the things. If it says access additional cards, and you gain.
They're all very direct. There's no. There's very few cards which like do X, so then you can do Y later. Or like it just says like do this because this is how you win.
To do,
Mm-hmm.
If you find
like
R&D, if you search R&D and find the card that you need to win the game, you have more chance of winning the game.
Well, I mean, there's not. That's the payoff is like the fact that this card tells you whack it down and start scoring agendas and like build forward momentum is the Wayland way.
Yeah.
Especially in Built to Last, where you don't even have to slow down because you're generating money from, because you have agendas which give you money, your ability gives you money. You're just going to go.
Yeah, I was playing around with some Oakland and Built to Last at the weekend, and you get rich really quickly, really quickly. Oaktown renovation and Built to Last. Yeah.
Actually, sorry. Yeah, that's probably the non-combo version of this. I've used Malpa. Is like you score the first agenda, you get hard-hitting news, and then you like you say very loudly you're getting hard-hitting news from your deck, even though you as you reveal it, and like you pointed it and you like tap at it at the runner. It's like, yes, I've got this in my hand now.
Just so you know.
Yeah,
there's hard-hitting news here. Anyway, I'm going to carry on scoring these agendas. And I think are we scooped out for tonight? There was also courtesy of Drill Runner. Could you explain to me before we go how Drill Runner fits into Nisei's future plans?
Well, as we described quite clearly in Aerotic Void, there are regions of the net which are just devoid of information and only have strange info hazards and gods. And in one of those, just behind the two large Aerotic Voids lads, you can see Drill Runner. You have to zoom in very close on the Aerotic Void art. Hey.
Hold on, am I actually going to do this? Am I going to zoom into Aerotic Void? Okay. Let's see how close we can zoom in. Phil, I like your aubergine Slack theme. I should change mine. Yeah, it matches my Mojus Aerotic Void. The deepest, darkest places of the net, and I believe, yes, we can see just back there is Drill Runner.
Yeah.
Whose idea?
Oh no!
What?
Oh, sorry. It's that black pillar in the middle. Drill Runner's behind that.
Oh, he's hiding behind there. Oh, man.
Oh dear. Yeah. Sorry. What was?
I was just wondering why on earth Drill Runner was let out this week.
I think you have to talk to the brilliant minds behind the community team why Drill Runner was uncaged. But it's interesting because Green Level Clearance got the Runner neutral ID, while Drill Runner got the Corp neutral ID, which implies that they are roughly equivalent in terms of importance.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really fair thing to say. I also think it says quite a lot about the characters of the two spaces, shall we say. The Catalyst, they're a force for good. They can, as when you play as the Catalyst, you can be whoever you want to be, and it's a blank slate, and you kind of project yourself on the Catalyst. And much in the same way as Green Level Clearance is a safe space for everyone. It's kind of nice, softly padded, dim lighting, and you can be whoever you want to be. Drill Runner is a megacorp on the moon, profit over principle. It's very appropriate.
Drill Runner is sharp edges and bright lights.
Sharp edges and bright lights. And heading up, is this the big city Drill Runner was talking about? Going to get his ass clowned here. Yeah,
more than likely. It is not intelligent. It's like, I'm not sure if it's a city or like an industrial center, but it's definitely big. Like, as you can see, like it's noticeably bigger than all the other gateway corporate arts. You can see like the curve of the horizon, and that was like I think that was like a very deliberate choice by the artist to make this one like a more zoomed out.
It is curved. That's very cool. So it's lovely talking to you because all these things get kind of pointed out. I wouldn't spot otherwise.
Yeah, it's fine. I just like make stuff up on the spot as well.
Well, it is curved. Are the dots, are they little cars, or are they just like landing strip or something? Who knows?
No, it's quite a like the piece is quite a bit wider, so there's like lots of little lesson details. I think it showed up. It was in one of the stories at the end of the NBN story. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
quite,
yes. I remember. What a great story that was as well.
Yeah, that's good. Like it's really good with some like the writers we have. And he says like sometimes you just get a piece and it's like, yeah, this is great, ship it. So,
yeah.
I get my big rubber stamp and go, yes, dunk.
It's cool, and unlike luckily I don't write for Nisei on anything more than a one piece.
Oh, I mean you'll get the Loop fan fiction is going to be on the Nisei website, I see.
Yeah, so we're now on 75,000 words for the fanfic. That's on my end, and obviously it's going to be a chapter from myself and a chapter from Podrick interlinked. So we're talking probably 4 volumes.
Okay, I mean that's good. We'll like drip feed it, like maybe just like 1 word at a time, like each day.
Some days potentially going to be a bit more strong and a bit more maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be that we just the 2 of us sign off a week and do a full length dramatic reading.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Who's going to be Lou and who's going to be Steve?
We haven't decided yet.
Or will it be some sort of like very avant-garde thing where you'll be both at the same time to represent the fusion of their souls?
Like Middleditch and Swartz, where we change characters halfway through when we forget which each other's name is. Yeah. It's more than likely. Thoroughly looking forward to that. I will write more than half a sentence at some point.
Well, I mean, there's like the thing is like if you want, like we are always interested in people sending in like content if they have ideas about the fiction. Like probably will get edited and like trimmed down, but like if people have a burning story inside them, as the Lou Steve is burning inside you, we could make it happen.
So anyone out there watching along or watching future time, send your stories in. I know James Ilksorben's a good friend of mine. That's exactly what he did. Is he just had a really cool idea for one of the characters that we haven't seen yet, and I believe he sent you a story, and off the back of that is now in there. And you say writing.
Well, I mean, I didn't even bother reading it. I was just like, someone cares enough to write a story. Of course, you can write an essay.
Speaking of content, and I haven't said about this for a while. I am running a competition, just in case everyone didn't know.
What an amazing segue!
Yes, if anyone didn't know already, there are prizes. The prize pool's growing. I won't go through all the prizes because I haven't got them here. But there are nice prizes, including a playmat, and including some original art, gateway IDs, and it's just send me stuff that has been inspired by what you've seen over the past few weeks with the Gateway Scoops. If it wants to be a story, if you want to do a piece of music, if you want, and this, I'm going to say thank you very much now. Thanks for joining, because we're going to end with one of the entries that I was sent today, and I watched 5 seconds of it and I was laughing so hard that I thought I'm going to save a real time reaction of it for now. So I'm just going to edit the scene and take myself off here. We don't need to see me anymore. Delete me. There we go, that's gone. Save that. So Ian, thanks ever so much for joining this evening. Very informative.
Okay. It's always a pleasure to watch your show.
Thank you, and thanks for watching along. We're getting weekly smut now. No Cat. Thanks for joining. You've missed us, but Eniteris earlier today sent me this. It's titled "Don't Clock Me Now," and I'm with this. And I was laughing so hard after 5 seconds, I thought I would save it. So let's play it out.
Mister, I'm gonna.
Oh, don't be an advert. Eniteris, that was incredible. That was truly remarkable. I don't really know what else to say other than have a good night, everyone. Thank you and take care. Goodbye.